And we are back. Oh yeah, that's the good stuff. Alright, what's up? It's Gingy Snaps. We're back. Happy New Year, everyone. 2020. Yeah. Woo. So, got a deck. It's the jank deck I was talking about in fucking State of Grand Blue. Everybody say hello to original deleter Egorg. And basically, this deck is original deleter Egorg WinCon. So we're going to go into this deck. We tried making a standard version of this deck. It doesn't work when you take an idea from premium and try to make it standard. It just doesn't. So this is a premium build. And, yeah. We're gonna get on into it. We're gonna start off with this G-Zone first, you know, kind of set up the whole shebang. We play 4 Egorg. Now, Egorg over here is your win condition. You probably don't need to play 4, you know, but safety's sake. Egorg states, act once per turn, GB2, counterblast 1, retire one of your deleter rearguards. If you have a deleter heart, delete your opponent's vanguard, choose a rearguard in your opponent's back row, lock it, and then your opponent chooses a card from their drop zone and binds it face down. Then, if the number of cards in your opponent's damage zone is 4 or more, and the number of face-down cards in their bind zone is 13 or more, you win the game. This whole deck is centered around that you win the game clause. So, we're gonna keep Egorg off to the side over here, just so that we can always, you know, reference it and whatnot. But yeah, so we're starting off with 4 Egorg, the win condition, the main man. Then we come to the first stride of the deck. Death Star Vader Glueball Avalanche, the new boy. So while he's in the G zone, there are always these little bits that I just don't know. So while he's in the G zone, if your G zone has 2 or more Avalanche face up, when your opponent's card would be unlocked, bind face down instead. You can already tell that we're making bad choices. So, act once per turn, Soul Blast 1, turn a card in your G-Zone face up, choose 2 of your opponent's rearguards, lock them, and all of your front row units get power plus 2k until end of turn for each of your opponent's lock cards and face down cards in their bind zone. So, you know, your opponent has a board, you know, you lock their front row or your back row, depending on how you want to play. You can lock a front row and then a back row, and, you know, just basically kind of hope you get some different kind of advantage. But most of the time, you're just locking rear guards so that you can stop your opponent's shenanigans. And yeah, so you go glue ball, flip a glue ball so that you can immediately turn your engine on. And then just every single time we would lock our opponent's stuff and they would unlock, they just go to the bind zone, which kind of helps turbo Egorg since he counts face down bind zone. And that's exactly what Glue Ball Avalanche does. So yeah, Glue Ball Avalanche, very important card in the deck. You go, it's like your first, second, and third stride. Well, maybe not third, but more of the story. So, then we come to Nebula Dragon, Big Crunch Dragon. Now, you can literally fill this slot with anything. I said Big Crunch Dragon for 2 reasons. 1, counterblast 1, flip a copy of itself. If the number of face-up cards in your G-Zone is 2 or more, which it always will be, choose one of your opponent's rearguards, lock all rearguards in the same column as that unit, and they can't be unlocked during your opponent's next end phase. It Omega locks them, shuts down a column for a turn. So basically, in theory, you could go Big Crunch Dragon, lock a column. Your opponent spends a turn without a column, spends 2 turns without a column, and then you go into Glue Ball Avalanche again, shut down the other column, and then basically by the end of their turn, they're binding 4 cards face down. Simple as that. Second reason, it was a $1.50 SP. So that is why Big Crunch Dragon is here. A, it's SP flip fodder for Glue Ball Avalanche, or B, it helps shut down more columns, basically. So, yeah, that's basically it. It can literally be anything. Dealer's choice. It's also generic. When I was looking through the G-Zone for Link Joker, it was either Deleter, Messiah, or Chaos. And outside of Egorg over there, I didn't necessarily enjoy all of their strides because it didn't focus on the binding face down, which is what we care about. And then everything else just didn't really help. Like, I didn't feel like it was as good as Big Crunch Dragon, which is probably saying something about my capacity to read cards, but to each their own. It can literally be anything. And then G-Guards, you know, we run 6 of them. So we run 2 Cosmo Wreaths. So for 1 Counterblast when placed, your opponent chooses one of their back row rear guards, locks it, and then Cosmo Wreath gets 5k. You know, just more locking during your opponent's turn. Simple as that. Desthurgen. Hopefully I say that correctly. Desthurgen. So when placed for 1 Soul Blast, if the number of locked cards is 2 or more, you get to draw a card. Simple enough, simple enough. Then we got Demon Maxwell. So you lock one of your back row rear guards, and then he gets 5k. So, yeah, all of these G-Guards are really underwhelming. So, yeah, but they deal with the back row so that, you know, other stuff can happen. It is what it is. 1 Destiny Guardian. Destiny Guardian will never go off. Sorry, let me rephrase. Destiny Guardian will never get the plus 10k. And here's why. So Destiny Guardian says, when placed, choose up to 2 locked cards and unlock them. If a total of 2 or more cards were unlocked by this effect, this unit gets plus 10k. The reason why Destiny Guardian won't get that 10k ever is because Glue Ball Avalanche is just over here being like bind them face down instead. So they're never being unlocked. So Destiny Guardian is here for Lacus Carina. Now this is the flippy boy. This is the flip. So Counterblast 1, flip up a G Guardian, i.e. Destiny Guardian. So when placed, you can pay the cost. If you do, choose up to 3 of your rear guards, lock them, and your opponent locks one of his or her units in the back row for each card locked. Literally, all of these G Guardians hit the back row. So we can go Glue Ball, focus on the front row, G Guardians, focus on the back row. By the time, you know, their end phase comes around, you can basically bind 3 or 4 cards face down per time. So that's the G Zone. Now, on to the main deck. For Schwarzschild, this is your going first ride. Counterblast 1, choose one of your opponent's rear guards, bind it face down. Simple enough. You're never going to use Counterblast 1 Soul Blaster Grade 3. It just does not come up or matter. Now, second Grade 3. Docking Deleter Gray on it. This is like the nut Grade 3. So you don't care about its act skill. You never do. It's basically just delete something. But on placed, on Vanguard, your opponent chooses 2 cards from his or her drop zone, binds them face down. That's super good, especially for the purposes of this deck. So, yeah, also, it's the deleter name that we mostly go for, and that's important. This is old Grayon, by the way. Then we have one great hole. We have one great hole because I was trying to make this deck standard. You know, it was going to be Schwarzschild, Great Hole, you know, whatever. And then I learned, that doesn't work out the way you wanted to. So now we just have one Great Hole in our possession. And considering the fact that it's on place, Counterblast 1, Soul Blast 1, delete, and bind something face down, you know what? I'm not opposed to it. So, yeah. Also, it's a deleter name, so in case we get stuck on it, not too bad. And then one Deep Scorpius. Deep Scorpius is this card where I feel like it could be good, but it can also literally be anything else. You know? On place, Counterblast 1, Soul Blast 1, bind one of your opponent's rearguards with the highest grade, and draw cards equal to that unit's grade. So, you know, like, bind a grade 3, draw 3. In theory, pretty good. In practice, though, it literally can be anything else. So, yeah, to each their own, you can do whatever you want with Deep Scorpius. Grade 2s. Swift Deleter and Gaily, you know, it's on hit pressure. Bind a rearguard face down. If you can't, Soul Blast 1, draw a card. No, you Soul Blast 1 regardless, but that's not the point. Point is, it's also a deleter name. We need deleter names for Egorg up here. Otherwise, the deck doesn't work. For White Outer Vect. So, at the end of the battle that your opponent didn't call a trigger unit for its battle, you Counterblast 1, draw a card, and then you can choose one of your opponent's grade 2 or greater rearguards and bind it face down. You know, this is kind of what I was talking about, where you can, like, use Glue Ball Avalanche, bind a front row and then a back row. Leave a front row there just so you can, you know, get different kinds of advantage. You know, it can also, like, backfire, I'm not gonna lie, but at the same time, being able to draw a card while simultaneously binding something face down, I find that to be pretty good every once in a while. Last grade 2 is Blast Monk of the Thundering Foot. So when it attacks, Counterblast 1, bind one of your opponent's rearguards face down. If you bind a grade 2 or greater, Soul Charge 1. Thundering Foot just doesn't give a shit. You know, unlike White Outer Vect. I might bump Blast Monk up to 3 and then cut White Outer Vect down to 3. But, yeah, Counterblast 1, on attack, bind something face down. That's pretty good. I think you all understand the theme of this deck. I would certainly hope so. 4 on-ride PGs. 2 Spinal Dragon because it's Soul Blast 1, retire it, bind a rearguard face down. Simple as that. 2 Destiny Dealer because I like Stride Fodder. 2 Duskblade because it adds more on-hit pressure. Because when the attack it boosts, it hits a Vanguard. Counterblast 1, bind one of your opponent's rearguards face down, and if you bound a grade 3 or greater, draw a card. Simple as that. More deleter names. Jaga, however you say that. So Counterblast 1, retire one other rearguard. When placed, bind all other rearguards face down in the same column as this unit. Gotta be careful about how you place that. And then Spicy One of Drown, because A, it's a deleter name, and B, if we ever do need to normal stride Egorg, we can basically, you know, bind more things and then, you know, countercharge. You know, simple enough. Again, Deep Scorpius and Drown can be anything, but yeah, it's a time. Starter's Lurie because I think his flavor text is best, and that's literally it. Alright, now for triggers. We run 6 V crit, and then 2 deleter names, because I thought I would be having a deleted... I thought I would be deleting people's Vanguards more than I actually am, which helps countercharge and basically recycle a crit. But, no, it's a deleter name. Hey, you could also just change it into normal V crits, but, hey, deleter names are pretty cool for Egorg. 4 draw PG, because I don't have the money for, you know, normal Cosmo Wreaths. And then, 3 V heals and then 1 of this because, again, countercharge. This deck takes a lot of counterblast. So, that's the deck. Hope you all enjoyed. Yes, this is jank. This whole thing is supposed to be jank. So if any of you are just like, wow, this deck profile is shit. Yeah, there's a point for that. We're cheesing the fuck out of this. But yeah, it's pretty fun. I think you all should try it out at least once. It cost me like, I don't know, 15 bucks to make the whole deck. You know, maybe like 15 G-Zone and main deck. You know, super easy. So I hope you all enjoyed the video. Like, comment, subscribe, do what you want. And yeah, see you all in the next video. Bye-bye.